It seems I've made a little typo. I read 31 books. I don't know how it happened. That one appeared magically. I never learned how to type. But either way, um, so like my lockdown lesson, like whenever all of this started happening, I started reading, and most of all, I'm just making this video for like little Edgarito that hated reading because in high school they make you read like uh, books that are on a list, or like authors that are on a list that no one cares. They don't write good things. It's just like the teacher trying to push something upon you, and it doesn't work out like that. Like teachers are like the biggest killers of the interest of reading. But either way, this one's for him, and just sharing the experience. And mainly I started reading because of I wanted to stop scrolling that much uh, before bed, because I was like sleeping at 1 to 2 a.m. and I was like, God damn, I gotta change this, but I didn't know how, because otherwise I'd just be watching YouTube or whatnot. And just reading a little bit tightens the eyes and helped me sleep. So that was mainly why, as well, because like I was watching all these YouTubers and they say how, I don't know, all these successful people are reading, and I'm like, fuck, if I ever want to be successful I gotta read. But good thing by now is just to read whatever you want to read upon, just to relax, just to kill the time. Like whenever commuting, most of the time is whenever I read. But yeah, let's get it kicking off. The first book I read 2 years ago, like to the date, was Marcus Aurelius' Meditations. I'm gonna take this as a chance to say it is a good piece of literature, but if you want to get into Stoicism, it's not the best one. Honestly, I only remember like 3 quotes or something by Aurelius in Meditations, and I feel like he does a good job at conveying like the moral of it in a way, but not to teach you the lessons. And that's why I decided to read upon like some other Stoic and like Diogenes is not Stoic, but the school of cynicism is like linked to it. That does help you understand it a bit more, and I would definitely recommend like Seneca, Letters from a Stoic, which, as it is in a letter format, you get more the sense of like the core principles at play, how to deal with it stoically in real life. You get actual examples. Same with Epictetus, discourses and selected writing. This one might be even perhaps a little bit better, because it shows you how to tackle certain situations. Because like everyone's like, oh yeah, stoicism, just remain calm, whatever, don't be affected by whatever. But what happens if, I don't know, you lose a limb? What happens if you get enslaved, imprisoned? How do you deal with that? And that's where they tackle it really well. And yeah, I picked up Einzelgänger. If you're into Stoicism, you'll definitely know Einzelgänger. I just figured out I didn't like the summary of someone else. I'll just stick to the like source material, and that's whatever works for me. Whatever works for you is good as well. Second book I read was King, Warrior, Lover, Magician. Let me tell you this. I think a lot of us guys get stuck in like the aura, the circle of self-improvement, and I don't remember a single thing of this book. Honestly, I need to reread it because I don't know one single thing that was said here. And yeah, I think that's like the trap all of us make, because I started reading The Rational Male, 48 Laws of Power, you know, King, Warrior, Lover, Magician, all that, Becoming a Barbarian. And it was like, I'm reading all these self-improvement books, and I mean, they do help, you do take lessons from them, but you might pick up way more from a novel, for example. And I really started appreciating novels. And if I can point you out anyone, and this one might be already known perhaps by now, but yeah, Dune, such a great book. Honestly, the way Frank Herbert puts you like in the through the thoughts and all the perspective and everything going around is so well done that I genuinely had like an after effect after reading it. I had like the effect of like, yo, I need to be more conscious of whatever I do, how I move, how I talk. All of this has an impact, and I can't wait to like Children of Dune or whatever the second book is. I can't wait to like read that one. Definitely will recommend it. The movie as well, like just know the movie ends whenever the book starts getting good. So if you thought the movie was good, think about the book. Like I thought it was boring up until page 120, 200. Like definitely up until what 200. I thought it was boring, and that's where the movie kind of ends. So yeah, go figure. As well, another. Well, talking about philosophy, perhaps in a way, Sun and Steel by Yukio Mishima, which is cool. It gives you the perspective of post World War II Japan, where the populace were like very depressed. They were spending their time like by night, mostly indoors. All that they had lost like their bushido, their warrior spirit, understandably so. But he wanted to like reinvigorate that, and it's cool how to see a philosopher mix that like physical aspect of it. And according to him, he's living by the sun and the steel. So the sun like outdoors activity, and the steel like weightlifting. And I know y'all can't see it really, but I'm trying to get some of that sun and steel too. The tan is not there. There's a little marcation, but the tan is coming. It's coming. What else would I like to point out? Don't be like me and read like classical pieces, because like Dante Alighieri's Inferno, impossible to read without notes. Like read whatever you want to read, honestly. Like don't get into reading because like people recommend you, like whatever. But like if you're gonna start reading, just pick whatever. The first reads are probably not gonna interest you. Like a bunch of these, like Inferno, I can't remember anything, like a little bit, but it didn't interest me, and you really need notes. Sun Tzu, Art of War, so overrated, bro. Like people say you got like politicians, business people, entrepreneurs read this to get that people knowledge. That's all bullshit, bro. Like you have to dissect this so much and water it down to put it in your perspective that I wouldn't recommend it per se. Like it's not a bad read, you can read it, but if you're not gonna like write it down and put it in context, it's not gonna be of any use to you. Let's see, what else could I say here? Some other novels. Well, Ernest Hemingway, the way he describes thing like I'm Cuban, and the second part of the book takes place in a Cuban bar, and I'm telling you, the slang, the ambience, the drinks itself, how he describes it all is so vivid. Like this man can put you in the spot. He even made fishing interesting. Like it, I don't know how many pages, like 40 pages perhaps, of like just fishing this man made interesting. So I could definitely recommend him. What else? Something else that stands out here, perhaps a little warning. Metamorphosis by Ovidius. I took Latin in school, and like most of these stories, like a bunch of these stories we've already tackled, and it was nice to revisit that. It was like a bit of going through memory lane in a way, like a trip through memory lane. But don't make the mistake that I made, like trying and read this in one go, because it won't go. It's not meant to be read as one continuous story, but it's cool. You get to learn why his use was such a horn dog. Like not learn, you just read about it, him being a horn dog. But some interesting stories, like I think my favorite one was either like this huge banquet, where maybe it was Perseus, that was after he traveled out from the Atlas Mountains through Egypt with the head of the Gorgon, Medusa, like the blood dripping out, and that caused like snakes to pop off from the sand, the Libyan desert sand and all that. So that was cool. And then we get to a wedding, and now we learn why centaurs are such dicks. Like they were hated in antiquity, and this kind of shows it to you. What else? Maybe like read something that's not up your alley, because for example, I've read here Becoming a Barbarian by Jack Donovan. I would mainly say this guy promotes like tribalism, anti-globalism, and I was like, yeah, I don't agree with all of that, but it was nice reading something different, I guess, like coming in contact with others' ideas, even though you don't per se agree with him, because that's not all to it. But mainly the thing is, as I said, I'm doing this for little Edgar. I had a goal set up for myself as well to like read. I'll show it at the end of the video with the vision board, to read X amount of books, and it's just, I don't know, it's a nice thing to do, I guess. This is not like pretentious or anything like that, but trying to combat the endless scrolling and all that endless consuming, I like it, even though I probably sound, I mean, you learn, like, it does expand your vocabulary, or like your view on things, which is good. It gives you others ideas which you might not come in contact with. Like I think Homo Deus might be like the best example of this. Like, you get in contact, in touch with things you couldn't fathom, and that's what I like about reading mostly. Like, just open a book, see whatever happens, get in touch with certain thoughts, and mainly like novels. I really underestimated novels, because like the entire character development can really, I think out of every novel you might take one or two things out of it that you can implement in your daily life, or like at least like things that will stick to you way more than a self-improvement book might do, where like the info is spoon-fed to you, or you gotta dissect it. So yeah, I think that's the main takeaway point of all this 2 years reading, the lockdown lessons, which to be honest, that was like the main blessing that came out of this for me personally. So yeah, let me know whatever your lockdown lessons were, if you read any of these books, if you got any recommendations as well, because right now I am reading Hellenica by Xenophon, and next one is The Body Keeps the Score. So we'll see how that goes, and catch y'all later. Hi, Tumos. And before I go, let me give you like at least one good tip. If you do want to stick to like self-improvement, like, don't be like me. So King, Warrior, Magician, Lover, I didn't highlight anything. I just read it. So everything that's in here basically got lost. But then if you only highlight, like here, it's only what like your mind thought of it at that moment that was important. So that won't really internalize anything you're reading. So I would definitely recommend like take pen and paper, whatever, and just like highlight. Definitely do highlight, but like just make resumes, summaries as well. Like, that's the best way to like internalize whatever you're reading, if that's something you're interested in doing. If that's something that you want to do, I most definitely recommend that. If there's one takeaway point from this video, that's definitely that. On a little side note, I had like this memo board, like vision board. It's not vision board, but like certain goals I wanted to. And it said by 2 years reading, at least 25, preferably 30. And we got to 31, so that ain't too bad. That's kind of a win.